how close are the Cowboys to the Rams right now?
I mean, they're close, Max, but at the same time, when you look at the Cowboys, they don't have what I call a lot of playoff-type experience. They're it sounds weird, but they're 1 or 2 years really from being ripe, right? You could eat it. It's going to be a little hard, but if you wait a little bit longer, they'll be ripe the way it's supposed to. The Rams are already ripe. Aaron Donald has been on a mission for the last several years, right? Von Miller is a defensive player of the year also and has won a Super Bowl and been to 2 Super Bowls. Matthew Stafford is a seasoned veteran quarterback. And Dak Prescott is not a seasoned veteran quarterback. He's a little bit spicy, but he's not all the way there. Guy, this is only his 6th season.
And one of those he was mainly missed.
Yeah, so he's relatively young in terms of that. When he gets to year 7 and 8, it's a different situation.
I know I can't just let Matthew Stafford off the hook that easily now. I mean, Dak Prescott, excuse me. Because now we're saying Matthew Stafford seasoned, right? But he's never won a playoff game. There are a lot of questions around whether Matthew Stafford could win a playoff game.
That is true, Jay. But it's not about winning the playoff game. It's about understanding the moment, the environment, being in it. This is new to a degree for a guy like Dak Prescott, okay? Dak Prescott, you don't let him off the hook, but at the same time, you have to understand everything in entirety. You can't just say, oh, this is this, and he had a bad game. No, you have to look at everything.
I see what Key's saying. Key, who was into cooking, by the way. It's like a jerk chicken or a ceviche or one of these, something you eat that if you marinate it overnight, it's just different. It gets down to the bone as opposed to a couple hours where it fakes it on the top, but it's not all the way down to the bone, right? Like I get what you're saying. It's just that there are teams with quarterbacks in year 6, with head coaches who've won Super Bowls, with talent on both sides of the ball, where they've marinated enough and they can start winning.
Yeah,
right?
but
that's not the Cowboys.
But you also got to look at it too, though, Max. It's a new situation, okay? It's a new situation, meaning like Mike McCarthy was there last year, but was that really a year? Dak Prescott wasn't even there. He's coming off an injury. He didn't play great at all, no stretch of imagination. He is one of the main reasons, in my opinion, they lost the football game. But at the same time, I'm also understanding comes failure, comes growth. And he will become better for it next time around. Matthew Stafford landed in a perfect situation with a perfect coach that understands what it is to be in the playoffs, where he's been there. I think he's been in the playoffs 4 of the 5 years that he's been the head coach, or 5 of the 6 years he's been the head coach. So when you look at that, that's big time, right? And then when you got a new situation with Mike McCarthy, a new defensive coordinator, they all still kind of trying to get on the same pages. They've got to retool that offensive line significantly.
Yeah.
When Torrance Smith is older now, he's a certain first ballot type Hall of Fame guy. You've got to figure out how to replace that. And then once you start to shape that offensive line up, I think in a year or two, the Cowboys will be right where they thought they were supposed to be this year.
Okay, so you said a lot. 4 out of 5 years, you were right about that. The Cowboys did invest once upon a time, every single year, a first-round pick in the offensive line. It hasn't been that way for a while, but that's how football is. You got to address other issues. Now they have a defense they didn't used to have. But, Jay, there is something about the Rams that Key alluded to. They went all in this year. So the sense of urgency is at a 10, right? Not only are they marinated, right? Not only do they have the experience and they're riper, but the urgency is there, whereas the Cowboys, Dak just got the bag. He's in year 6. Maybe how far away do you think the Cowboys are?
I don't think the Cowboys are that far away. I also think this is a game of matchups. And I think sometimes we overlook that. We look at all these opponents like they're the same. How do you think the Rams would have done against the 49ers?
Maybe they win, but it ain't
easy. It ain't going to be that.
No.
It ain't going to be like that. Not what we saw against the Cardinals. And I know the Cardinals beat the Cowboys, and it talks about the lack of maturity sometimes with the Cowboys. But I also think it's a game of matchups and who you're facing at that particular juncture.
Well, then what about, Jay, the fact that the Cowboys, that big point differential and everything, they scored 240 points in a 6-0 season against their own division, which is the weakest in football, right? like
6-5 outside.
Average 40 points. They went 6-5 against the rest of the league.
Yep.
Like, maybe why aren't the Cowboys better underneath it all yet? Is because key points to seasoning. Is it an issue of seasoning as a team, of marinating as a team? Is it an issue of Dak isn't quite as good as people think he is? Key also pointed to the offensive line deteriorating a bit, right? Because that affects the running game. When you talk about Deebo Samuel and Mitchell and everyone, they got a good line. So maybe
think about it though, Max. As you start to talk about different positions on the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Micah Parsons is a rookie.
Yep.
He is the best defender they have. This is his first time in the playoffs. So you're looking at that. DeMarcus Lawrence in and out of the lineup. Gregory in and out of the lineup. You get all three of them playing in an entire season together, opposed to 4 quarters here, 2 quarters there, 1 quarter here.
Let me ask it another way. Switch coaches. Now the Cowboys have Sean McVay, innovator, young hotshot coach. You've met it. 4 out of 5 years they're in the playoffs, made it to a Super Bowl, and the Cowboys have him. The Rams have McCarthy. Anything different?
Yes, absolutely. And the reason is Sean McVay calls the plays, not Kellen Moore. Okay, Sean McVay is calling the plays. Mike McCarthy doesn't call the plays for the Cowboys. Kellen Moore does. So Sean McVay calls them for the Rams. So you understand what I've always said, Max?
Yeah.
Is if I was to ever become, which I'm not, but if I was to ever become a head coach in the league and I call offense or defense, I would still call my offense and my defense. Like Sean McVay. I'm not giving that up.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.